Hello everyone, welcome to the Being Pre-Med lesson. Today we're going to be going over the basic requirements for being pre-med, which is the classes, the GPA, and medical testing, and then in a separate video we'll go over the different things that we can count as extracurriculars, such as shadowing, volunteering, research, clinical experiences, and hobbies. So diving right in, here we have a list of all the pre-med classes you would need to take in order to qualify as pre-med. So you have a year of general chemistry, organic chemistry, physics, calculus and or stats and biology, and then 1 semester of biochemistry, but that is not required by all medical schools, so that's really up to wherever you apply. And on the right here, you can see that we have a list of majors that MDs studied during their undergraduate career. So you can see that 59% of them focused on something science related, and then the rest focused on stuff such as arts, health, engineering, and others such as psychology or business. And pre-med itself is not a major, but there are majors that overlap a lot with these prerequisite classes you'd need to take. So for example, biology is a really popular choice, but there are people who just really are passionate about whatever other major they want. So you can major in those, but then you just have to make sure that you complete these prerequisite classes. So here's a sample schedule of the prerequisites that a lot of pre-med students follow. So you try to get all your prerequisites done. So during your freshman year, you'd want to get your general chemistry, math, and English done. During sophomore year, you'd want to get organic chemistry and biology. During junior year, you'd want to get your physics and biochemistry. And then senior year is a bit more lax. This is really when you can take the classes you're really interested in and that medical schools generally recommend but do not require, such as anatomy courses. So these are some general favorites. So starting with human reproduction and development, this is a class that you can really learn about the development of a fetus all the way from a zygote to birth. And then you can learn about the different public health aspects of maternal and child health. Another popular class is the anatomy lab. And this is where you can work with cadavers and wet specimen. It's a super interactive and hands-on class, and it's really helpful for medical schools since it gives you that hands-on skill set and also just general information. And then you have the public health and microbiology course, where you can learn about different diseases and their clinical manifestations. You can learn about previous pandemics and current ones also, and then also learn about how to approach what different treatment plans for diseases. And just a general tip that many medical schools, like I said, do recommend that you take an anatomy or microbiology course, since this can really help to prepare for the type of curriculum you're going to be facing in medical school. So, diving into GPA, is it important? Absolutely. Medical schools are pretty competitive to get into, so you really want to focus on keeping your grades up in college. Generally, medical schools recommend a 3.5 and over GPA. You should try to aim for a 3.6 and over GPA by graduation. But what you really have to keep in mind is that medical schools also try to look for upward trends. And what this means is that if you, for example, initially during your freshman year did not have that great of a GPA, but you worked really hard and brought your grades up, and by the end of graduation, you have a GPA that's like 4 or 5 points higher. That's amazing. It shows that you can dedicate your time and your passion towards your academics and also just generally your interest in being pre-med. And another thing to keep in mind is these are not hard cutoffs. So just because you don't have a 2.5 GPA does not mean you can't apply for medical school. It just means that you might have to balance your GPA with your testing scores or other unique experiences that you might have. So testing for medical school. You guys might have heard of the MCAT, and this is basically the test that focuses on testing you on all the prerequisite classes you've taken. It has 4 sections: the chemical/physical foundations of biological systems section, the critical analysis and reasoning skills section, and this is the one that kind of makes up the majority of the questions. The biochemical foundations in biology, and the psychological/social/biological foundations of behavior questions. The MCAT has a general score range of 472 to 528. The average score is 500, And for the students who did get into medical school, that average score is 511. So you really need to prep a lot for the MCAT and take a lot of practice exams to make sure you get a good score. So that's really all there is for the basic requirements for being pre-med. Now we're going to dive into the extracurriculars.